Yeah, so hi everyone. My name is Ruby, and let's talk about something we sort of already know, but sometimes we kind of forget it or don't really know. And that's top security to mobile devices in 2021 and beyond. So yeah, in recent years, mobility have improved operations and productivity in our organizations, right? So like this picture. And yeah, but this also means an increase in the number of mobile devices that are accessing your company systems from a remote location. So yeah, and for your security teams, this means a growing variety of endpoints and threats that they need to secure in order to protect the company from a data breach. So now let's talk about those threats and how organization can address those risks. Now, phishing and smishing attacks. So phishing attacks are still a favorite of bad actors, largely because it's very effective. Yeah, but smishing scams done through text messages are catching up fast since business model users are granted high level of access to the organization's systems, but they don't have the same level of built-in security as the company-owned computers. So yeah, so you can see that's how the bad guys work or attack. So what's the countermeasures? Perhaps we can do this. Don't check your email. Yeah, well, of course, it doesn't work. No, seriously, so the best defense is really to teach the employees how to spot phishing emails and messages that look suspicious. And of course, to reduce the number of people who have access to sensitive data or systems, and limit the number of access points attackers have to gain access to critical systems or information. Second, so the second most common is data leakage through or via malicious apps. So mobile apps are often the cause of unintentional data leakage. So for example, riskware apps have posed a real problem for mobile users who grant them broad permissions but don't always check them. Usually we don't, like when we download apps, right? Sometimes we just click, and then grant permission without really checking on we don't necessarily review everything. So yeah. And of course, sometimes when you download apps and they look, innocent enough, and you agree to everything, the terms and or permissions without thought. But this lack of scrutiny can leave your devices and enterprises largely vulnerable. So even if the app works the way it's supposed to, it still has the potential to mine the corporate data and send it to third party, like your competitor, or expose sensitive data or business information. So how to protect against data leakage? So as an organization, one of the best ways to prevent data leakage is by using mobile application management tools. So this usually the IT admins can control or wipe access permissions on their employees' devices without disrupting employees' personal apps or data. And the third security risk is the unsecured public Wi-Fi. Now, who doesn't want free Wi-Fi, right? I bet you guys are accessing the NDC Oslo free Wi-Fi right now. But the problem here sometimes, if you access, it is not secured because largely we don't know who are monitoring it or if it's encrypted or not. For example, cyber criminals often set up Wi-Fi networks that look authentic, but are currently a front to capture data that pass through their systems, like a man-in-the-middle attack. And he or she can look like this. And this person can easily create fake Wi-Fi hotspots in public spaces with network names that look, legit or completely authentic looking. And many of us are just willing to connect because, it's free. So how do we reduce this risk? Well, it could be as simple as requiring your employee or reminding employees to use a VPN to access companies, or they have to access company systems or files whenever they have to use public Wi-Fi. And the fourth risk will be end-to-end encryption gaps. So an encryption gap is like a water pipe. So like this picture with a hole in it. So this is where the hole is where the bad actors get access to your organization's systems. And unencrypted Wi-Fi networks are one of the most common examples of an encryption gap. And that is why it's a huge risk to your organizations. Since network isn't secured, it leaves an opening in the connection for cyber criminals to access the information your employees are sharing between their devices and your systems. However, Wi-Fi networks aren't the only thing that, or unsecured Wi-Fi networks aren't the only thing that poses a threat. Any application or service that is unencrypted could potentially provide cyber criminals access to your sensitive company information. For example, unencrypted mobile access messaging apps your employees use to discuss work information could present a problem also. So what can we do? Well, basically, for any sensitive work information, end-to-end encryption is a must. And the fifth threat would be the one you're wearing, your Apple Watch, your Google, or your any physical devices that you have, like in Google Home or Alexa or whatever, because these devices have IP addresses, which can be a gateway or entrance for bad people. And yes, you'll be surprised by the high number of shadow IoT devices connecting to your organization systems every day. So how do we combat these shadow IoT devices or threats? Again, the mobile management or MDM tools can help you a lot, and as well as identity access management like Auth0. And the sixth threat will be spyware. So spyware is used to survey or collect data and is commonly installed on mobile devices when users click malicious advertisement or through scams that trick them to downloading anything unintentionally. But actually, surprisingly, in many cases, it's not malware from unknown attackers that users should be worried about. It's really your spouses, your girlfriend, your ex-girlfriends, coworkers, or employers who keep track of your whereabouts and activity. So they download spyware on your phones or whatever, so they can keep track of you. And it's common. So how to protect against spyware? So dedicated mobile security apps can help your employees detect and eliminate spyware that might be installed on your devices to access company data. And ensuring your employees keep device operating systems up to date to help ensure that your devices and your data are protected against latest spyware threats. And the seventh threat, it will be your poor password habit. So there is a 2020 study that people surveyed, but people tend to reuse their passwords between work accounts and their personal accounts for simplicity and whatever. Unfortunately, also, those passwords that employees are reusing are often weak as well. And for example, a study by Google in 2019 found that 59% of people use their name or birthday in their password still. So like what I said, since both personal and work accounts are accessible from the same device with the same password, these behaviors also provide opportunities for credential-based brute force attacks, like credential stuffing or password spraying, because cyber criminals can use weak or foreign stolen credentials to access sensitive data through company mobile apps. So how do we reduce or eliminate mobile password threats? Again, password managers can simplify the work required for employees to follow the NIST guidelines. So following these guidelines can insisting or reminding your employees to do the same will protect you against threats from stolen or weak passwords. And also, you can also require multi-factor authentication or MFA. And finally, implementing passwordless authentication will greatly reduce breach or at least make it really hard. For example, in the event that your mobile device is stolen or accessed illegally, recurring facial or fingerprint scan or as a primary or secondary authentication could prevent unauthorized access. And last, stolen or lost mobile devices. So actually, it's not a new threat, but with people more working remotely and using public Wi-Fi and accessing your systems, with a wider range of devices that we have now. So lost and stolen devices are really posing a great risk to your organization. And so how to protect your stolen or lost device? First and foremost, they have to ensure that employees know what to do when they lose their device. Since most devices come with remote access to delete or transfer information, that should include also asking employees to make sure those devices are activated. And also we can use also MDM tools. So like this one. To wipe or make sure that we can secure, encrypt, or wipe sensitive company information from our device that's been stolen or lost. Yeah, I know so that some threats here and countermeasures are already known to us. It's not really, that's what I said in the beginning. It's something, sometimes we just know it, but sometimes we forget it or we don't. So we just need to be reminded once in a while what to do and what are those threats. But that's all for me from now, and stay safe. And tusen takk. And if you have any questions, come see me as an Avanada. I have some colleagues here also, and if you want to work in Avanad, we are also recruit. So okay, that's all. Thank you.